there's no question that this has been a challenging time for clubs. How do you adapt your meetings? How do you still make them fun? What do you do? How do you adapt your service projects for existing needs or even new needs? How do you fundraise? And how do you recruit new members? We've all had to pivot, to adapt. I think those will be also new words in our dictionary this year. It has been a very challenging year. But I think in that, it's our actions that will prove that we're successful in the long term. It's sort of forget the past and how do we move forward? So we're going to do a bit of an open mic for what clubs have done for their activities. And maybe first, I'll ask Hazel Gillis of the Oil Capital. Yeah, you're first, Hazel, to talk about some of your activities and what you've done. I have mentioned cocktails and conversation. Go ahead. Go ahead, Hazel.
Oh, yeah. First up. Yeah, Ken asked me to share our cocktails and connections, which was a brand new thing that we tried. And I have to thank Terry Singleton, who took the lead on getting it all set up on Eventbrite and that for us. And Beverly from our club took the lead contacting Wine and Beyond. And she had a conversation with them about how could we do this virtually? Is this a possibility? And they ran with it. And it actually cost us a service fee with Eventbrite to do the registrations, but that was our only cost. So it was first time out the gate. We got 23 households registered. We charged $20 a household. So most households had 2 people attend. And you had the option of picking up the ingredients for the 5 cocktails we were making ahead of time, or just attending and taking notes and enjoying your own beverage with us. Lasted an hour and a half. We promoted it to use to raise funds for Camp Hee-Ho-Ha, just outside of Edmonton here. And the club found it very successful for our first virtual fundraiser. A lot of laughter, definitely great to partner with Wine and Beyond. It was really a good event. And we have our second one coming up on April the 20th. So mark your calendar, best deal in town for $20, and it went really well. Terry, do you have anything to add on that, or?
No, the only problem we had with it was the like I say, the Eventbrite fees, and I'm looking at a new platform called Simply K, and it does the ticketing also, and they don't charge any fees at all for processing, and they get their monies back through what they call gratuities. So you pay a little gratuity at the end of your process. So you buy your stuff and then you pay a little gratuity if you choose. And so it's a good way. They also have ways to set it up to do membership and to pay for memberships online with your credit cards or PayPal. And so we're looking at that. And the other thing is we were very fortunate that the person we went with, they had a good sound system and a good video camera available. They just used a good phone that they used, set it up, and used that as the phone. Those are the 2 important things: is to have the main people have good audio and good video.
So Hazel, where did these 20 people come from? Like, were they all Edmonton, all your club members? Tell us a bit about your reach.
We sent it out on Facebook, and of course we all sent it out to everybody that we know. We had a short turnaround time on it. We advertised for only 2 weeks, by the time it was ready to go. But we had people from Eastern Canada on. We had some club members from clubs in Eastern Canada. We had, because Ian Taylor is with the Canada Foundation, so he had reach over there. We had members from our club on, some family friends and that. For the short turnaround, we reached 20 different houses. That was pretty cool. And we used Facebook, and we had it on our website. We've learned some from some of our mistakes, and we're advertising a little longer for the next one. We're just putting the final touches on it now, and we'll be have that on Facebook probably in the next couple of days and have it out.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, thanks, Hazel. And I'm sorry if I missed just the first part of your session, but did you say when you advertised on Facebook, did you use a paid boost, or was that just what happened organically with you posting it?
We just organically, we just posted it to our Facebook page, and then all our members that are on Facebook shared it, and we just went that way. I have done the paid boost for another organization I'm with, and it costs you $10, $20, and I haven't really found that it's reached many more people, so I'm not sure if it's something that we would spend money on.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I know that the Cochrane Club had, as part of a virtual open house, had used Facebook paid advertising boost. And they were surprised at the number of eyeballs, the number of interactions and contacts. I think they spent about $50 for that. And that was a supplement. That was not their main reach, because this was a membership event. A prospect list that the members had contributed was their primary source. So this was a secondary means of communicating with the community. And they reached about 3,000 eyeballs. And a couple of people actually emailed to get the next step. So it really, and you can target, men versus women within 20 kilometers of a community in a certain age. So it is cheap, but it's you wouldn't advertise in the Globe and Mail for a local event like this.
Right.
And so if you just boost the post, that's like the Globe and Mail, goes everywhere. So you need to be very more targeted in terms of the community and the demographic and interests. I know one of the things you can actually target parents from 0 to 5, parents from 5 to 15, where individuals have identified an interest. So do look at that. It is not expensive, but it is not the panacea, but it's a way to go beyond just the family and friends, certainly sharing and things like that in your own personal network is a positive thing as well. Thank you, Hazel, for that. Let's go out to Lloydminster. Angie, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Roland. So Ken had asked me to speak about our 50-50 draw that we did in the fall. So with COVID and our restrictions and everything, our club's main fundraisers were based around social events that we would hold. And since that was kind of canceled and we weren't able to do that, we had to come up with something new. So in April, I thought of the idea of, I brought to the club the idea of doing a large 50-50 draw. So through Alberta Lotteries, you can have raffles up to $20,000 for free without having to pay for licensing fees on that. So we decided to have that as we would try to get $20,000. So the winner would get $10,000 and our club would get $10,000. So we printed up tickets. I'm a graphic designer, so I was able to design the tickets up really nicely and posters and stuff like that. And we had the tickets printed and we started selling them at the end of June. And so it gave us because it was a big task of 4,000 tickets, $5 each. And, we're a smaller club. At that time, I think we only had about 16 to 18 active members at the time. So that was, that's a lot of tickets to sell. And also with the constraints of having to not be, can't having gatherings and stuff, and it's not really advised to go door to door and that kind of thing. We had a lot of challenges based on how we were going to sell these tickets because, 15 people to reach 4,000 is quite a lot. We did do a lot of Facebook promotion with it and not paid. So I did quite a bit of Facebook posting with it, and I would cross post into a lot of local community groups. So like we have one in Lloydminster, is What's Happening Lloydminster, that has a large group base. And I would cross post in there, and we got a lot of sales through there. I offered tickets for sale to purchase online through my own personal website. And we did, Vera was, if anyone knows Vera Gallant in our club, who doesn't know Vera? She's amazing. She's a firecracker, and she loves people and loves fundraising. So she sold a bulk of our tickets. I'm sure it was probably half of them she sold personally. And she was just carried them around everywhere she went. So she was in the grocery store, she'd be like, hey, you want to buy a ticket? Hey, you want to buy a ticket? So that kind of thing helped. We also did a couple of booths at the farmers market. So, because we did have the farmers market operating indoors and outdoors. And so we were able to set up a table there. And because we're nonprofit, they didn't charge us for the table, which was nice. And so we ended up selling out our tickets by October 5th, and our draw was on the 9th. So just before our draw, we managed to do it, and it was wonderful. So it was a really good boost for our fundraising funds that we needed, helped to fill in the gaps of our in-person social events that we would do for fundraising. So that was awesome. That was our 50-50 draw. So, we also got a lot of media coverage, a lot of media interest, and it was the community and the media coming to us, which was quite surprising instead of us having to go to them. So, and I think it was because I cross-posted into a lot of these local groups. So it caught the eye of people that wouldn't necessarily be on our Facebook page. And so that got us on TV, it got us in the paper, it got us on the radio, it got us, there was some news companies that do videos, like just online ones, and so it got those ones as well, interviews that way. So we got the word out quite well, and it was really well received, and we're definitely going to be doing this as an annual thing, COVID or not. So it was a fun fundraiser. It was fairly easy to do, and it was great. And our Facebook page, sorry, my train of thought went out the window, but yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about it. So yeah.
So I have two questions, and actually a question and a comment. The comment is really around Facebook. You mentioned about cross-posting. So posting your material in other local groups in the community. So another way, unpaid, I know many communities, I don't know about Edmonton or Calgary, they're large, and you might find special interest, but I know in Cochrane, Airdrie, Okotoks, Lloydminster, there are groups on what's happening in town, or 50 things to do in this community this week. So that's another way to broaden the reach without paying Facebook advertising. You are actually posting your material in those other Facebook pages or groups. The question, Angie, was what did you do to accept payment? How did you actually get the money in? So I know Vera took the ticket books with her, but on your website, or if people said, yeah, put me down for 2 tickets, But how do I pay you? How did you do that?
Yes, through my own personal website. I have payment methods on there. I design T-shirts and sell them. So it's just a little side gig of my own. And so I just set up as an item to purchase there and had a limit of how many were there. And they entered in all of their credit card information safely that way. They could pay credit card or through PayPal on my website. If it was through Facebook, messages and stuff like that, a lot of times it was e-transfers, and I just had them personally e-transfer to me because we don't have an e-transfer for our club set up. So I just transferred it to myself. I had myself as a designated person. So also all the other members knew that email as well, so that they could e-transfer if they were talking to someone that they wanted to sell tickets to, and they just let me know, oh, so-and-so sent $40 for tickets, and, you know, and I would keep track of it that way. And yeah, so that's how we got, and then cash, obviously,
Yeah.
for anyone that's doing the in-person stuff. So it was a variety of ways that we got.
Thank you,
our
Angie.
payments.
I do see a question in the chat from Hazel. How long did you run the 50/50 for?
We got our tickets at the end of June, so I think it was June 30th. I got them in my possession and they were available for sale, and our draw was October 9th. So July, August, September, so 3 months and a bit, 3 months and a week.
Thank you, Angie. I know, Tracy, South Edmonton also had some interesting adaptations for club activities. Can you share what South Edmonton had done?
Sure. So I think probably from 1960, maybe even a little bit beyond, we have always had a Christmas tree lot. And so we were like, well, how are we going to sell Christmas trees to the public and keep our members safe and the public safe? And then, of course, you know, we have an older membership. And so, you know, some people were very concerned about their health and things. And so we basically just, you know, formed a committee and then I just kind of told them, go for it. And, you know, we all researched Alberta health guidelines on what to do. We had signs posted, we had the hand sanitizer, we had the masks. We modified our payment window. So instead of them coming into our trailer and paying like normal, they came up the ramp one at a time, and we had the door with the plastic window and the shield, and you know, so we did a lot of modifications. We had people, when they got their trees, we bought sleds for them to put the trees on to pull up themselves. Everybody kept their social distance, and of course it was outside, so that was good too. And we sold our normal 900 trees in 8 days, and with half the volunteer staff that we normally would have on site.
Wow.
So it was a very successful year for us.
Thank you, Tracy.
Mhm.
That any of the other people here, do you want to share a story of what your club has done to adapt, or do you have any questions? I'll share one that I was involved in. That there are 4 clubs in the Calgary area that have a toy project, and basically each of the clubs works with a local social agency who nominate the participants, the kids in need. And before COVID times, we would bring them all into the local Walmart, pictures with Santa. The kids go into the Walmart store and get to choose their own gift. And, you know, there's treats with Santa, pictures, balloon animals, face painting, very high touch, very close proximity. And obviously that was not going to work. Each of the 4 clubs took a little bit different approach to adapting. One club had a drive-through Santa's parking lot, which is not very comfortable when it's -20 and the wind is blowing. So what they did, again, same social agencies, but what they asked the participants to do is either to drive through the parking lot from 8 to 9 or 9 to 10. Santa was there, full shield. The elves were there with masks, and they had prepared goodie bags the week before, which included a teddy bear, other odds and ends, and a $40 purchase voucher at Walmart. So the kids could go and shop on their own or with their parents at the Walmart for their Christmas gift. They got to choose. And all of the bags were numbered, so you knew whether this family had 4 kids or 2 kids or 1. And that was all done in advance. And so 123 people drove through that Saturday morning in -20, that Santa would put it into the back of the truck or into the back seat or trunk of their vehicle. We'd wish them a Merry Christmas, and then the next person would come in. So that's one adapting. The other club actually went to where there was 500 kids. They actually worked back with their partners where they delivered the goodie bag to the partner, and the partner typically had at least weekly contact with the families and the recipients. And it was the partner agency, because of the numbers, you couldn't manage logistically the drive-through. It was the partner agency that did the delivery to the family. And again, same audience, same need, but we rethink what they've done. So any other club experiences that you want to share? Yeah, Angie, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I've got the gift of gab today. Just one of the things is we have one of our signature projects, and this was the second year. Last year was the second year that we did it, is our Festival of Lights, where we decorate Kiwanis Park with decorate it all up for the holidays, and beautiful light setup and everything. One of the things that we did differently, because there was restrictions on gathering, in Lloydminster, we are under Saskatchewan health regulations. And at that time, outdoor gatherings were limited to 30 for our official lighting ceremony. And we normally, last year we probably had a couple hundred people there, and hot chocolate and hot dogs and candy canes and Santa and a whole bunch of awesome stuff that we had to put off to the side because of COVID. But one of the things that we did offer was a Facebook Live video of the lighting ceremony, and then I did a tour of the park, and the reach with that was absolutely unreal. I could not believe it. We did not do any paid advertising with it. We reached over 5,800 people, and we had 4,000 views of our lighting ceremony. So that's absolutely unreal. And we had people from down in the States. We had people in Eastern Canada that were watching. It was a lot of fun. And our Facebook, our follows on our Facebook doubled. So we went from like in the low 100 and somethings to over 350 people in a matter of like a week. It was crazy. So it was a really fun thing to do, and it was COVID friendly, and the Facebook Live video is something I'm looking at hopefully bringing to the future for any of our events as well. So
thank you, Angie. Again, some of those opportunities that technology provides, COVID or not, that some of the things we can do to adapt or change, not because we have to, but because we can, and it makes sense, or it enlarges our sense of community. So we've got a minute or two left. Any other questions or folks who want to share some club experiences or questions for what's been shared already?
There,
There you
that
go.
mute
Ken.
thing, that mute thing. Just going to say, it was interesting to Tracy's comments because Terry, I see our Christmas tree chair from Westfort is on. We had a very similar experience where actually, you know, with COVID precautions in place, it ended up being a strong year. But I think, you know, it was part of the public feeling comfortable that we were running a safe event, and it was portrayed in the media that way. So yeah, and Terry, we were sold out in record time. I think people just wanted to hunker down and stay at home.
Yes, mute. With that, I think we'll call this workshop a close.